I know it probably feels like a lifetime to many of you, but Donald Trump has only been in office for a month now. And not only is his own polling really starting to falter, but citizens all across the country are starting to realize that what Donald Trump is doing is actually impacting their lives, and they do not like it. We really could be seeing the start of a grassroots movement that could be politically lethal to Donald Trump, because people are looking around and they do not like what they see. And I'm not just talking about in liberal cities. I'm talking about deep red districts. And people are showing up to their town halls and expressing their discontent to the Republican legislators. People are not down with what Donald Trump and Elon Musk are doing. Take Rich McCormick. He is in a plus 29 district. And people came out to chew him a new one during his town hall. So let's go ahead and take a look at this clip really quick, and then we will discuss. And if you do appreciate the work I do, please do remember to subscribe.
Tyranny is rising in the White House, and a man has declared himself our king. So I would like to know, rather, the people would like to know what you, congressmen, and your fellow congressmen are going to do to rein in the megalomaniac in the White House.
I'm not going to give you my best foghorn leghorn response to that. But what I was, you can go ahead and sit down. Thank you. When you talk about tyranny, when you talk about presidential power, I remember having the same discussion with Republicans when Biden was elected. The funny thing is, you're sitting here and a lot of you would probably say those January 6s who are yelling just as loud as you, who are upset just like you, and not listening.
Hey, let's restore some order. Let's restore some order. Hey, let's restore some order.
So
Stop
yelling at me is not going to get any answer, okay?
Can you believe this asshole? Trying to compare these people attending a town hall to J6ers who violently stormed the Capitol and partook in an insurrection against the United States of America, who beat 140 police officers that day. That is the comparison that this asshole is trying to make. And then trying to say that, oh, well, when Biden got elected, we had a conversation about tyranny too. What world is this dude living in? Biden didn't go around unilaterally stopping funding to causes that he didn't like. He didn't go around shutting down entire agencies that were enacted by Congress. What is this dude talking about? It's not even a close comparison. You may not like Biden policies, but he is not carrying out an authoritarian power grab like Donald Trump and Elon Musk are currently doing. And to make the comparison is just absolutely stupid. He then goes on to say that, oh, well, no worries, guys. It'll be litigated.
I can't understand 10 people, let alone 100 people.
Budget, not the president. And you are doing us a disservice to set that down and not stand up for us. And
a lot of this stuff will be litigated. It's going to be litigated in court. You don't think I'm going to stand up for you? Stand. That's all we have. So if we're going to have a town hall, and I'm going to go and stand in front of you and take your question and try to answer them as honestly as I can, then let's do that, okay? But if you're going to just yell at me, that's not going to be an effective counter.
So imagine just trying to pass the buck, saying, oh, well, the courts will figure it out. It'll be litigated. No worries, guys. You have nothing to be worried about. It'll go to the courts. But Donald Trump has already shown a proclivity to ignore the courts. And he is issuing insane executive orders that says he and only he is the one that says what the law is. This is not acceptable. These people are smart and they are pissed off. They understand that it is Congress that approves funds and establishes agencies, and for Donald Trump to come in and start tearing that stuff down on a whim, that is against the law. That is not how the government is supposed to work, and these people are calling it out. And to pass it on to say, oh, well, it'll just be litigated in the courts, is not an acceptable answer. Donald Trump should not be doing this in the first place, and there should be every single Republican in Congress that are pushing back against this authoritarian power grab. And that is not what we are currently seeing, and that is why these people in deep red districts are coming to these town halls, and they are pissed off. Donald Trump is just out of this world with what he is trying to do right now. No other president has been as destructive as Donald Trump has been in his first 30 days in office. This guy goes on to say that, you are the conservative party. Why is everything so damn sloppy?
I want to say that from a conservative perspective, the approach of DOJ is completely 180 degrees. They've been indiscriminate and they've taken a chainsaw to these things.
I understand trying to do more with less. That's reasonable. What's not reasonable is taking this chainsaw approach. Why is this being jammed down the pipe so rushed and sloppily?
And he is exactly right about that. Why is Elon Musk just going into these different agencies and firing everybody, shutting people out of their computer systems, locking them out of the building? If you were really serious about waste, fraud, and abuse, you might hire some forensic accountants. You might work with the Government Accountability Office. You might not fire inspectors general, so you could get to the bottom of the waste and the fraud and the abuse that does exist in the system. But Donald Trump and Elon Musk are just spinning up giant conspiracies so they can justify their reckless actions. And these people are just not having it in deep red districts. Here's another instance. Wisconsin, plus 29 district. They're just not buying it.
When will you stand up to them and say that is enough?
The end result of the fraud and abuse that has been discovered already.
That is the face of somebody who was not expecting to get his ass chewed. People do not like what they see. They have not provided a shred of evidence to suggest that there are hundreds of billions, if not trillions of dollars in fraud, waste, and abuse. Instead, they are looking at our budget and picking out line items and then crafting stories around those line items. They have not provided any evidence that all of this waste, fraud, and abuse exists in our system. Does it exist? Yes, but not on the scale that they claim it to be. These people just aren't having it. And I hope that we can use this energy and harness it into a movement against Trump and his administration. Because what they are doing is pretty much an insurrection, but he is in power. So it's like a self-coup, if you will. Here's another one. Oklahoma, plus 21 district. This is a retired Army veteran, and he is pissed off as well.
I'm a registered Republican voter and retired active Army officer. How can you tell me that Doge, with some college whiz kids from a computer terminal in Washington, D.C., without even getting out into the field, after about a week or maybe two, has determined that it's okay to cut veterans' benefits?
I think a couple things. Let me give you an example. Did you know that the VA was in charge of payments for illegals for housing? Basically, the VA.
No, I'd like for you to send me. Could you send me that reference so I could research that? Because no, I'm not aware of that. And I would tell you that that's a red herring, a false flag. If you're throwing that kind of political stuff up, trying to cut veterans' benefits, that's very alarming to me.
Yeah, and he's exactly right. And I am so glad that he was able to spot this nonsense and call her out. Because when you live in this MAGA conspiracy world, and you live in this hermetically sealed bubble, and everybody else believes in the same conspiracies that you do, and then you go out into the real world and try to pass these lies off to the average American, they're not buying it. You cannot just say that, oh, we're finding all this stuff in the VA, it was funding all of this illegal housing, and yada, yada, yada. Until these people can provide any proof of any of this, people need to push back against this. It has to be done. And I am, like I said, I am just so glad that this is happening in deep red districts, because it goes to show that it's not just liberals who are whining about this stuff. And it's not just liberals who are pointing out the hypocrisy and the lies and the conspiracies, but actual Republicans who voted for this nonsense, likely, are calling this stuff out too. They may have voted for Donald Trump, but what he is doing is probably several steps too far. And I'll show you this one last clip where this guy, Wisconsin, plus 22 district, tries to, parade around the ending of birthright citizenship.
President Trump has issued a lot of executive orders. I think by and large this is moving very quickly compared to other administrations, and I think across the board he's done some very good things. I think he's gotten rid of birthright citizenship.
Illegal as hell.
I love to see it. I'm not going to lie. I think each and every one of these Congress members needs to get shredded at these town halls. They need this conspiracy bubble popped. They need to come back to the real world. You can't just pass all Donald Trump's stuff off as wins based off of all of these lies and expect people to believe it. Donald Trump went and tried to end birthright citizenship. The judge in that case said it was the most blatant unconstitutional thing that he had ever seen before. And you expect the American people to just go along with this nonsense? Absolutely ridiculous. So we're going to definitely keep an eye on this. One thing that we have to keep in mind here is that many of these people that are coming to these town halls, they may have voted for Trump. And are they finding out that they aren't liking what he is doing? Yeah. But we also need to be willing to take these people into a larger coalition that can push back against the Trump administration if that is what they are seeking to do. It's probably going to be tough. I'm mad at a whole bunch of folks, and I'm disappointed in the American people that we elected the idiot that is Donald Trump. But we have to remember that if we want to win elections, we have to also be willing to work with these people who are realizing their mistake and want to work with us to defeat the authoritarian takeover that is the Trump administration. So I would highly suggest and encourage that we all keep that in mind. We might be pissed off at some of these people, but we might need some of these people to win as well. So I thought this stuff was interesting. These are deep red districts that are coming out in droves and pushing back against their Congress members. And we will continue to follow it as it continues to happen. If these Republicans don't shy away or, bitch out and cancel their town halls, we'll probably do more segments like this. But it just goes to show you that the American people do not like what Donald Trump is doing. They are realizing that he is lying. They are realizing that there has been no proof provided for all of these different claims that they are making, and they are not having it. So I will leave it there for now. If you guys got anything out of this video, please do remember to smash that like button and subscribe. Maybe share with a friend or two. I'd very much appreciate that. We've got to build something here on the left that can adequately push back against this right-wing media ecosystem that just shovels shit for Donald Trump every single day. So if you do appreciate my work, please do remember to subscribe. If you want to see how the MAGA movement is marching right into fascism, do watch that video on the screen now. Otherwise, I'll see you guys on the next one.